Good morning. It is about 6:30. It is somewhere in the lower 60s as far as temperature, and we've had 4 inches of rain since Saturday night. It is now Monday morning, and it is sweet corn day. So the kids are still all in bed, and it is going to be a wet morning for me to walk through my maybe 8 rows of sweet corn, I think. And I'm just gonna take off what's ripe and put it in the cart, and then it'll sit there and wait until the kids get up to start husking. We'll have to do all our barn chores before we start husking. And the reason we pick it in the morning is because the sugar content is higher in the morning, and then our goal is to get it in the freezer before midday. Okay, we are getting started with husking and cooking of the corn. We're going to do everything outside. We finished the barn chores. We've got one little lonely husker started back there. Harrison is filling up the tubs for cooling the corn, and Mitchell got this started for me. We've got hot water started, and it's a little breezy this morning, so I'm going to have to take this wind guard and put it around the front of the camp chef to keep my flame under the pots where they're supposed to be.
Whoa, whoopsie. How much have with you? What? No, never mind.
husking, and I clean up their cobs for them before they go into the boiling water. Harrison, don't break it. Harrison.
It was all bad. I was like, Jimmy Butler, up for the shit. Jimmy Butler. Up for the shoot.
It's Jim Lee Tender.
And it's not. It's Jimmy. And it's Jimmy Butler.
So now that this water is boiling, I am going to fill it with this sweet corn that I've cleaned. Okay, now I'm all caught up with you guys. Okay. So now that the water's boiling, I don't use a timer or anything. As soon as the water's boiling, I get these out. And I'm going to put the lid back on and bring that water back to a boil. And I'm going to dump all of these into cold water.
Harrison, don't just eat the corn. You know how to play. Fight. Don't go play cards. I'm going to play cards. Let's see.
So as soon as the first batch is done cooling, or cool enough to handle, we all take a break and pick our favorite cob, and we have a mid-morning snack. No. So as soon as this water comes back to a boil, I fill it back up with raw corn. Harrison is now in charge of cooling the corn. And it looks like this kettle is ready for more corn too. All right, guys, the race is on. The kettles are boiling.
Okay, you guys gotta beat the kettles.
You gotta beat the kettles. So there's 2 pots full of warm sweet corn in there, which has warmed up the water. So we'll just keep switching them to the coldest water until the heat is gone out of every cob.
Let's go, Top Commanders! Top Commanders number 2.
So we are almost done with husking the corn. Not sure where Hadassah went. And looks like that is ready to come out. And that is almost ready to come out. Harrison has stayed busy with cooling the corn. Is that right, Harrison? And here we've got a whole bunch that's cool and ready to be cut off. But we will clean up the husk and finish cooking all of the corn before we start cutting it off. Unless I go buy some.
Yeah. I'll have to wash again. Especially. Oh. I thought you could go to that to plug it. And this would. Oh.
All right, it's time to cut the corn.
Okay.
Harrison, can you show me the tool you're using? I think this is a Pampered Chef brand corn cutter, and I'm going to try and link that for you. Good job, Harrison. Maxwell is using the same.
I'm milking.
Kendrick is using a creamer, an old-fashioned corn creamer. Kendrick, don't eat the ones you're cutting. And Mitchell and Hadassah have graduated to using knives this year. Good job, Harrison. Kendrick, leave it out of your mouth. That looks good, Maxwell.
How about this one?
Looks good, Maxwell.
I like these ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll take this.
I feel like this knife is very dull.
Okay, you may go get yourself a different one if you want. There's one that's similar to this with a wooden handle. Here's the scrubber to scrub all the corn.
How?
Cooler. Yeah, mix the cream stuff in. So while Hadassah and I bag up all the sweet corn, the boys clean up all the pots and pans that we used. So we had some sweet corn left from last year, so we took that all out of the freezer, and we're putting this year's sweet corn on the bottom, and then we'll put last year's sweet corn on top of this year's sweet corn.
That good?